bear with Mark for stuttering in the long pauses.
Yeah, that's going to make you feel better.
I'm a reader like Rob, not recited. Right. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. As you probably know by now, my name's Martin, and I'm the person that's been given this great honour of being Liam's best man and sharing a few words on this special day. Today at the church, I'm sure you'll agree, it was a fantastic ceremony, and now you all have a drink in your hand. I'm sure it's going to carry on the same way. However, unfortunately for you guys, it's probably going to lull a little in proceedings over the next few minutes, as I've got to say a few words. Firstly, I'd like to start by thanking Liam, on behalf of the bridesmaids, Ailey, Amy, Kat, Anna, Laura and Joe, for his kind words and having them play a part today. I'm sure you all agree, they all look wonderful. Have done a fantastic job and only have been outdone by Helen, who looks absolutely stunning. On behalf of the bride and groom, I'd like to thank everyone who was here today to share their special day with them. Although from a personal point of view, I think things would have been easier if only 5 or 10 of you had turned up. Just one last massive thank you. Liam said it, but it's to Ross and Max, especially for the stag do, because you know how useless I am. You guys sorting out, it was fantastic. So here we are, the groom. Where do we start? I've known Liam, or Kip, as most of us affectionately know him, for the whole of my life. Starting from a young age, Kip used to suck his thumb as a comfort thing. It used to work very well, and it wasn't until the age of 15 that he actually stopped doing it. Which explains why he didn't have his first girlfriend probably until the age of 23. Growing up with him through his teenage years, I've got to see a few things, a few interests that Liam's had. From around the age of 8 to at least 16, Kip was a big fan of watching men in tight lycra roll around grappling with each other in the world of wrestling. Although he still kept a keen eye on the world of wrestling, as he grew a little older, his interest turned more towards watching women in lycra. That's probably a story for another day, hey Kip? We all know his big love though, apart from Helen and Isla of course, is Manchester United. He's a true stereotypical United fan. He lives nowhere near the place. We'll always argue that 5 minutes injury time is never enough. And he always sleeps with a picture of Howard Webb under his pillow. In fact, the only reason I'm still here now is because Mr. Webb is busy this weekend. To be fair to Kit though, he has a season ticket and would travel anywhere to watch Manchester United. Don't be too worried though, Helen, because in 1997 a woman cited her husband's obsession with football and Manchester United as grounds for a divorce. So if the worst comes to the worst and you end up sharing your bed with David Moyes, you know what can be done. In the 27 years that we've known each other, I've only fallen out with Kit once. We were around 14, 15 and playing football. The game got a little bit heated. Kip stormed up.
We were twins, weren't we?
Yeah. Kip stormed off. And as he was walking away, I shouted at him, Keno. He turned round, marched back towards me with a look of fire in his eyes. It soon fizzled out and we were friends again. The ironic thing is, if you called him Keno these days, he'd take it as a compliment, the biggest one you could give him. Drinking has never been Kip's strongest attribute, which is why on his first night in Edinburgh, he was surprisingly well behaved. He wasn't sick, didn't start stripping his clothes off, and there were no real chance of United or any other Man United song, which tends to happen on 90% of his nights out. This, however, proved to be the calm before the storm. By the time the second night came about, well, to be fair to Kit, seeing him have his first cocktail with his breakfast and downing shots throughout the day, I will openly admit I didn't expect to see him out in the evening. But after a quick shower and a change, he was ready to go. After drinking more and more, getting worried that alcohol wasn't taking effect, a feeling that he's definitely not really used to, we listened to a few wise words from Will Armstrong. Will said, I struggle to get drunk if I've been hammered the night before. You've just got to hit it really hard. Just to put that into context, for those of you who don't know Will, he's 6 foot plus, plays rugby and drinks a lot. With Kip being Kip, he took these words literally, and on our next trip to the bar, he came back with a bottle of wine. This size bottle of wine. He soon drank that, only to disappear and come back with another one. This one was passed around the dance floor a bit more. The first signs of a new hardened drinker dying, maybe? A resounding yes is the answer to that question, as he had gone from bouncing around on the dance floor to being asleep on it in a matter of minutes. Unfortunately, Kip had lost one of the things I'm sure that everybody in this room would wish he'd lost at some point when they've been out with him. His voice. As well though, unfortunately for us, he'd lost the ability to use his legs and required three of us to carry him out of the bar. It was when we were outside waiting for a ride to take him home though, his voice made a small reappearance. Now before I carry on this story, I'd just like to say, Kip has always been close to his mum. From picking up his trail of clothes from the back door to the living room when he went through his phase of getting naked and stripping off on the way after a night out, walking through the living room, regardless of what guests Claire and Dave had in there, to driving around Leicester looking for him, picking him up after an unearthly hour to find he'd fallen asleep on a roundabout. There are a lot more occasions he could name, but we're only here for, well, hopefully not too long. With his mum so dear to his heart, it will make us so happy to know that while the son was laying on a pavement in Edinburgh on his stag do, unable to move without help, and barely able to string a sentence together, he slowly turned his head to the side and slurred the words, "Home, Mark, home." After a short pause, then followed one of the sweetest, most affectionate things you can expect to hear from a fully grown 27-year-old man. "I want my mum." Kip to this day denies this, but there were a couple of witnesses who were not quite as such in the same state he was. As you can see, he's sat here today, so we managed to get him back. It only took 5 of us to get him up the stairs to bed. There was a night out in Nottingham, I've heard, when Helen first met Kip, and after exchanging numbers and going their own separate ways, the question was who would make the first move. The answer to that question is Kip. Reliably informed, or not, reliably informed, their text from him, Helen was unsure whether to reply until one of her friends, who convinced Helen to give Kip a go with the words, "He's from Uppingham, he might be rich." Now all of us would have been able to tell us straight away that he's not rich and he's certainly no Brad Pitt. But looking for Kip, Helen looked over those chinks in his armour and he's fallen for his rather large personality. In all seriously though, I really do believe you two are great together. Kip, in Helen, you've got someone who's loving, caring, smart, beautiful, gets on with your mates and has already given you a perfect little daughter in Isla. Helen, unfortunately for you, your list isn't so long, you've got Kip. Jokes aside, it's impossible not to love Liam. You wouldn't meet a more genuine, down-to-earth, loyal guy, and I'm truly honoured to call him my friend. With both of your qualities, I have no doubt that you will make a great married couple for so many years to come, and I'm proud that I've been here today to share this day with you both. Rob informed me last night, that there was a few people that couldn't make it today, but have sent their wishes through a letter. Now this is a genuine letter, it's not bullshit. Right. And I'd just like to read it to you to understand. Kip, this is your bride, by the way, that sorted this out. Right. Dear Liam and Helen, I'm writing to congratulate you on your wedding day. We could not have let this great occasion pass without adding to our own best wishes on your special day. On behalf of myself, the team, and staff at Old Trafford, we'd like to wish you a long and happy life together. Wishing you the best of luck for the future. Yours sincerely, David Moyes.
Wow, that's absolutely fantastic.
On that note, it gives me immense pleasure to ask you all to stand and raise your glasses in a toast to Liam and Helen. Wishing them well for the future. A toast with orange juice. With you, Mr. and Mrs. Baines, ladies and gentlemen, I give you the bride and groom. Bride and groom! done.
Cheers.